Yo fellas. So I think it's about time to make a new one of this, and we should go with Thor. Now, a fun fact from Norse mythology: Thor is actually the child of the two that I already have on the site. That is Odin and Jör, or Fjörgyn. Now, I thought it would be cool to bring you along on this journey, so you could kind of see like the backside of how this come to be, the techniques I use. Maybe if you do something similar, you can learn something from the video. I will have a different video where I kind of talk about the things that I've learned in jewelry making overall. So this one will be a quick overview how I go about the process from start to finish, actually having a real bronze model that I first have in my head. How I will go about it is I will design it in my computer, because that is the way that I feel most comfortable with. Then we will 3D print it out. We will make a mold for it so we can get it in wax state, and we will use that wax to make a plaster cast for it. The plaster cast we will cast bronze into, and then we will have a bronze Thor. So let's go see how we figure this thing out together. Let's start by designing this in the computer, then we can put it on the magic stick over here and take it to the 3D printer. And I have the Odin open here because I will use that as a size guide kinda for the measurements and the details. So basically what I do here is I just go off the top of my head. I don't sketch it before on paper or something like that. This one was inspired by the sitting Thor statue that is found in Iceland. I'm not sure what it's called or what its like number is or so, but it's basically a statue, like a small statue of supposedly Thor sitting holding his beard. So that is the one I used for reference here, and that's why the beard looks how it does, is because it was the largest inspiration part. But I had to change it around a bit because I didn't like how the hat looked if it was a longer one. I think the sitting one looks very nice, but I mean, look at mine. It resembles something that I didn't want Thor to resemble. There's another god that is supposed to resemble those things. And that is the Thor ready. So now let's put it on here so we could 3D print it out. And let's get this going. It should take about 2 hours to finish, and then we can see how it turns out from the resin. And here we have them. I've cleaned one up. I'll try to show it to you so you can see. Focus. So this is how it looks from the resin. It's kind of like a plasticky thing. This one I will use on the plate that I've custom made. It goes on here. I have also printed these things to keep the silicone in there so it doesn't pour out. Here is what we're left with. This now has a small hole here. This is where the nail went in. I will cut this open and I will have it like a zigzag pattern so it clamps up easier afterwards. And inside here I have the 3D printed model. I will take that out and then I can fill this with wax. And later on boil out the wax and pour metal into the plaster cast. There we have it. Into here we can put wax now. For this part I have tied it into here, and I use this syringe. This is like a meat injection syringe or something that I cut the top off of, and I use this to pull the wax from this thing here. I have it melted in here, and then push it in here because it needs pressure, otherwise the small details will not come out nice, and the temperature of the wax needs to be right as well, so it needs to be close to the melting point, otherwise it will stay weird as well. And here we have a wax version of it. I'll zoom in as well so you can see it better. And what I do now is I just clean it up, cut away the sprue from here, make sure the neck hole is normal, it seems to be normal, and make sure it doesn't have any defects.
mul nagu närv sees siis. Tuhanded inimesed näevad seda.
So, in this part, the whole thing goes here, and what I do here is I boil out the wax from it. And why I boil it out is because, first of all, you save the wax, so if you want you can reuse it, but also it goes to that kiln later on, and that kiln goes up to high temperatures. It has to be close to the pouring temperature of the metal, so if you put it in there it causes a lot of smoke. So to avoid the smoke I just boil it out, because that leaves me with these plates that I can later use, and it's also causes less of a mess. So we now wait until it's done, but we can do this trick, and it is in the kiln now. It is almost ready to be poured. So now I will set up the metal to be poured into the thing, and then we wait a bit for it to cool and we can clean it out. So the forge is now going, as you can hear and see, and it'll probably take half an hour for it to melt the metal completely. And what I use for the alloy is 90% copper and 10% aluminium. That gives me aluminium bronze. It's a very durable metal. Why I cut it off like this is because I can put it here now and start moving from the top, or like the bottom of the tree, to the top, and eventually I will have all of them out, and then I will finish them up with some ebonol and other things that needs to be done to them. Okay, so I finally have it out. Now it's to clean it up. I will go over it with a brush, and once I'm done with the brush it will go into ebonol, so it will get a darker appearance and an overall better look to it, in my opinion. So Thor is ready. Now I can fit about 20 of them into one of the molds, but they all don't turn out. Sometimes there's some dust in front of it that leaves like these holes in them, and the top row of the cast doesn't always work out as well. It works better with more simple things, but if you have a detailed back like this, it can become mushy and it doesn't look that good. So those I disregard. I melt them up again, but from this one I got about 6 that were nice. We will be working more on them, kind of polishing them up, and we will be casting a bit more today as well and tomorrow. So we have a good amount of them that we can polish up, because it's good to cast them up front and then polish them up, because polishing takes some time. Now, I don't know how many of you made it this far, but if you did, if there's a goddess or a god that you would like to see, let me know in the comments or write me on Instagram. I have the same Instagram name as I have my YouTube channel, and because I'm thinking about making them over one, so I'll have a god and a goddess, god and a goddess, and the next one would be a goddess then. I have some ideas, but I would like to know your ideas as well, so I could prioritize them. And in case you did watch this far, thank you for your time, and yeah, have a nice day.